Hey everybody, it's Queen Jelly, and welcome to, or welcome back to the Toy Box. We are a doll-themed YouTube channel that does a variety of doll unboxings, and today we have a kind of unexpected find for me. So this is the LOL Surprise OMG Outrageous Millennial Girls Fierce Cleopatra 2022 Collector's Edition, Limited Edition Fierce doll. So I have the Lady Diva Fierce doll, and I absolutely love her, and I really want the Neon Licious one, but I've been waiting for her to go on sale. But this is the collector's doll. She is supposed to be an online exclusive release, and I've been kind of debating whether or not I wanted to get her. And on Amazon, she kind of fluctuates in price. She started at $100, and at one point she was $50, and then she was $60. I think when I checked today, she was like $65, give or take. So I kind of been debating whether or not to get her. But today I was at a TJ Maxx. I was actually looking for the last one of the Ghouls Day Out dolls that I need. And I did not find that. But instead, I found a couple of dolls that I wanted. But I decided to control what I got. But I did get a Kaya Heart, because this is a Rainbow High doll that I've been really wanting. And did not expect to find in person ever again because of how old she was. But I found her for $20, but that's for another video. But I also found, like, I found her on the shelf, and she was $59.99. It says compared to $75, but like I said, her original price was actually $100. So $60 is about, like I said, what she's running right now on Amazon. But I don't know, it's just, there was something about, like, finding her in person that I was just like, yeah, this is the one I'm supposed to have. I don't know, it's something I think about, like, the, like, old-fashioned doll haul hunt, like, vibe of it, of, like, finding her in person. I don't know. It was kind of the same thing with the Paris doll that I have over there that I wasn't expecting to get, but then I found her in person at a Walmart, and I decided to get her because I found her in person, and she was technically on clearance, but now that's about what she goes for. But when I found her, she was cheap. But so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and open up Cleopatra, but I am going to do my best to keep this box because it is really cool. Literally, I checked out and the lady was like, "Is this for you?" And I was just like, "Yep." And she was like, "Oh, well, yeah, but that's the thing, she didn't ask, like, she was like, "Oh, is it for, you know," she literally asked, "Is it for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, well, the box is the coolest part of this." And I was like, yeah, it is. But I don't know, it was kind of funny. I had that one, and then at a different store, I found the Monster High nail polish. And that cashier was telling me about how her 17-year-old daughter was still into Monster High. And she's like, "Well, isn't it about time to give it up?" She says to her daughter. And I said, me as a 28-year-old has not given it up yet. So I would not say that the 17-year-old needs to give it up. This one is not in good condition. This is the one I'm going to open up and use. But I did get a second one to keep in, like, good condition as part of, like, my Monster High collection. But yeah, I just thought that that was kind of funny that she wanted to talk to me about, like, how she's trying to get her 17-year-old out of it. And I'm like, I'm not going to help you in that situation. Anyway, I digress. So we have our box. Now, our box here has this little thing at the top that opens up. Ta-da! When it was in the store, this little Velcro here had kind of, like, come unglued. And I was wondering if maybe that's why she was at the, like, clearance type store, because again, if you guys are unfamiliar with, like, TJ Maxx or, like, Marshalls or anything like that, they get, like, factory seconds or returns and stuff like that sometimes, and other times they just get stuff that's been clearanced out. I found quite a few older dolls there because they'll, like, find them randomly in, like, the warehouse or whatever, and then they'll send them out to these, like, secondhand type stores that aren't really secondhand, but they're secondhand retail stores. They're not the original intended retailer type of thing. So like I said, sometimes it's because they have, like, damages to either the product, not usually the product, usually they have good, it's just, like, damage to, like, the packaging or whatever. And they'll get a lot of like out of season like fashion clothes as well, that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress. This little Velcro piece was broken off, so I don't know if that's why she was there or not, but I was able to get it reattached. So it opens and closes like this, and it's really cool like display bubble for her. And like I said, I think I'm going to be able to just take this plastic part off, and then she can kind of stand in there. But it does unfortunately like create a lot of shadow, so you can't really see her. As it says Cleopatra here, and then on the back it says, most queens become legends years after their time, but Cleopatra has a legend during her reign. She was an icon of leadership and style, known for always making a statement and being fearless in the face of challenges. This golden queen inspired us by her brilliance, beauty, and incredible ability to surprise the world. Over 2,000 years later, we still celebrate Cleopatra as a symbol of what it means to be fierce. And then we have this beautiful artwork back here of her. And on the sides we have these emojis that go all the way around. They're supposed to be like hieroglyphs, but clearly like that's like a cell phone, and like some eye makeup and stuff like that. So they're like hieroglyphic style emojis, and they're in these little like bubbles, like they're text bubbles. So they're supposed to be like a combo emoji hieroglyph, which emojis kind of are a modern hieroglyph. So you can kind of see inside the box the cool like detailing in there, and the cool background, which I'll show you more once I have her out of the box. So because I want to be careful with this, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and do my best to get her out of the package, and I will be right back. All right, so I have her out of the box now. It was a little tricky because there was a lot of tape, but at the same time it was pretty easy. You just had to basically untape all of the tape on the back, and then you could slide out the plastic pieces, and that way preserve the box. I did end up with a little rough spot up here with a little bit of tearing, but it's nothing that's big of a deal. But as you can see, the back of the box is kind of this like really cute like throne setup with these cats sitting next to it, the like bejeweled cats. It's very, very pretty. And then like I said, she can just kind of stand right here in the middle. Nice little background scene for her. And then this is actually the back of the box, if you can see that. I didn't see this before, but there's this big artwork of her, and it says 2022 Collector's Edition. And again, if we turn it around, you can see that you can kind of just put this back in here with that plastic bubble on it if you would like. But yeah, so you can essentially rebox her pretty easily if you would like to. Right now I have her apart so we can see all the different pieces that she comes with. So she has this headpiece that does tie in the back. Right now this is still the factory tie. I just kind of snipped the rubber bands so that came off the package, because it's actually separately packaged in there. It just kind of sits on her head but is attached to the package by separate plastic pieces. She has this, what she's wearing right now is one piece, so it's a skirt, a top, and then this like sleeve piece that actually has these hooks on it, so that I'll dress her and you can see all this stuff in a little bit, but I just want to show the individual pieces. But they kind of hook on her arm like this, and then her hands help hold them on. So this is all one piece. She has her earrings with the little chains on them. She has a neck collar here, and then of course her shoes, one of which has this snake on it and one of them doesn't. We'll look at everything a little bit closer in a moment. And she also comes with these two cuffs. So this part up here goes on the upper part of her arm, and then this goes like around her wrist, and then the chains dangle down. She has two of those, one for either side. There's also this belt with these chains on it. And of course this just slides around her waist. And then we also have another necklace that goes on top, and it does hook right here on this jewel. It makes me a little nervous that the jewel's gonna rip off taking it on and off, because it's kind of an interesting way to unclip it, but that is the way to do it. So, and then this is a skirt piece that can go on over the top of this that matches the sleeve parts. And then she has this big piece back here, which I was very impressed with how it was in the package. Basically, it wasn't attached at all. It was just slid into it. So it doesn't have little holes from the plastic tie. So I was very very happy with that. If you open it up, it looks like wings on this side. And then, so this is supposed to like go like around her neck. And then this hangs, you know, on her back. And then on this side we have some embroidery, as well as some more Egyptian iconography. Very pretty. It's hard to see, I know, because it's shiny, but there's that. And like I said, I believe it goes on with this facing her. So I'm going to get all these little things back on her, and then we're going to take a closer look at her with all of her stuff on. All right, so she has most of her stuff on. I just want to point out a couple things before I put these back on. One of them being that the only way to get this on is with this like elastic cord, and it wasn't big enough to get over her head, so I had to put it on over her body, and it kind of like stretched it out a little bit. So now it's hanging like really loose, but it's not too bad. Still kind of cute. But I think it's supposed to be like sitting up here. But instead it's sitting down here, but I don't know. Just gonna have it like, there we go, hooked underneath the collar. All right, so she does come with a stand. However, it is coming apart. However, it is a saddle stand. It is not a waist clip stand. It's probably just because of the amount of stuff that she has on her waist that they decided to do that. But I think this is the first time that we've had a saddle stand from OMG, but I could be wrong. I don't have any other collector dolls with their stands. So the only other collector doll I got from a Goodwill. So it did not have the stand with her. I'm not the biggest fan of saddle stands, but like this one at least is done well, and it fits under her dress nicely. So like it's not that bad. Like she has a nice tight fitted dress, so it does keep her legs together, so it seems to keep her on the stand. So you know, it could be worse. So we'll start at the top as usual. As I said, I have her headpiece on. It's this gold winged headpiece. I probably will end up like rubber banding it or something on because it does not want to stay on very well. But it is super cute and has these kind of like little snakes in the middle forming a little heart, and they're holding a little jewel. Very pretty. And then she has blue hair with multiple tones in it, and then these blue, a lot of blue tinsel in her hair, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I don't mind the tinsel, especially when it's like this and it's nice soft tinsel. Although there is a lot of crunchy gel in this part of her hair, but just when I wash her hair out, or if you wash her hair out, just be careful, especially if you want to preserve the tinsel, because hot water can damage the tinsel, so just be careful. She does have 4 braids, so she has 2 on either side, and they do have these little plastic like jewels or like hair clips type thing here at the bottom of them. She has gold eyeshadow that goes up to her black eyebrows, I'm sorry, and then she has some blue like eyeshadow that's sparkly that's right here on her eyes. I believe mine is a little bit misprinted because you can see that's where it's supposed to be able to see some eyelashes. And it's just like slightly off, but it's okay. And then she has some really pretty green eyes. She has pink lips with a little bit of a darker liner on it. Here are her earrings. So they are these feather crests with these chains hanging off of them, same on either side. And like I said, she has that collar necklace, and then the bigger collar. She has this blue like sleevelet part here. This is attached to the dress. And then she has some tattoos on her arms, this side, and she has them on this side as well. I think that's a really cool and very like unique detail to have. That's something I love that OMGs aren't afraid to do, is like little tattoos and stuff like that. Because not all dolls are willing to do that kind of stuff. So, and then we have her chain cuffs. So they just kind of clip one up here on the upper part of the arm. I think that's that side's one. So we clip one on the upper part of the arm, although it is kind of loose. I wish it was a little bit tighter so it stayed a little bit better. And then this one cuffs around the bottom part of her arm, and that one's on there nice and tight. And then so it kind of has that like drapey chain effect right there in the middle. You can see those chains. They could do the same on the other side. So you have the big cuff goes at the top. That one's a little bit tighter. And then the small cuff, it goes here at the bottom. And then it creates that kind of drapey chain effect, which you can, yeah, looks really good on this side with her arm up. And then I just realized she's standing basically, like, she's standing on her own right now. She's not, like, their saddle stand is right there, but, like, the stand part is over here, so I didn't even realize I had done that. So then right now she has on the blue skirt over piece as well. I like it on because it like matches the sleeve parts. But it is a lot going on with everything on her. So I wouldn't necessarily be surprised like if you display her with like not everything on her body at all the time. But there's her shoes. So we have the snake going down her leg. It is jeweled all the way down. And then her heels are little pyramids with eyes of Ra on them. Super cute. And then this one also has a jeweled snake on it. It's just much smaller because it only goes around her ankle. And they are little gold shoes. And then again, she has that gold cape on. So there she is with everything on her. So you can kind of see the minimal and the maximal of everything that she can wear. Also, I want to point on her stand. It is gold and it says LOL OMG Fierce on it. But it does have that same like stripy base that most of our OMGs have. We just click and slide. Feels a little bit, it doesn't feel as sturdy as most OMG stands. But oh, there we go. Very pretty. I really like her because I'm a huge fan of the Fierce collection. I also like Egyptian motifs. I like Cleopatra. I think this is a really good doll overall. I do think there's some things that could be better on her for sure. I think that I'm glad that I got her for $60, not $100. I don't necessarily say she's not worth $100, but I can also see I would say that she's definitely more worth like $60. They made the Fierce dolls like really, really expensive, especially compared to how cheap how cheap OMGs usually are. Like usually the most expensive OMG that is out there right now I think is like $40, and that's like the color change Sunshine Makeover, the one with like multiple outfits. That one's like $40, and like a single Fierce doll is like $40, which is the only reason why they're not doing as well as I would have liked them to, because I think they're really cool, and I think they're kind of like with the regular Fierce an attempt at like a collector playline type doll, and then obviously this is a collector intended doll, but I feel like they put the prices too high, and that's why Fierce isn't doing too well, because most people that are collectors of, you know, OMG are mostly playline collectors anyway. So to kind of like give us a playline doll that's like mass produced but then still charge like collector prices is kind of crazy. And I'm not talking about this one specifically, but I'm just saying with those being that expensive, then when they did release an actual collector's one, it made her even more expensive. So like I see where the pricing came in, but I just think $60 I think is a good price for her. I think her hair could use some help. Like I'm going to need to like possibly redo it. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough with that, but I just feel like it's a little messy for my taste, especially for a collector doll that isn't intended to even like come out of the box. Like she should look pristine in the box. But I can't complain too much, like I said, with getting her from a store for, you know, cheaper than her technical retail. So like, I don't know. I am overall happy with her. I really am. I think she's really pretty. I like that her box is really nice and she's pretty easy to like display in the box if you have the room for it, which unfortunately I do not have the room for it right now, but I will be keeping her box so that in the future I will have a place to display her once I have a little bit more space available for just doll displays. But like, look how nice that is. And then I can just yoink. Again, you have that shadow so you can't really see her, but still I think that's really cool that she can be put back in it, and it can kind of be a display stand for her, whether she's still packaged up or unpackaged. And again, I really like the tattoo detailings on her. I think her makeup's really pretty. I think all of her accessories are really pretty. I love all the chain details. I love the embroidery, which I know both of those things, the chains, the embroidery, the multiple layers, like all that stuff adds up to the cost. So I totally get it. But like I said, I think $60 is a good price point for her, as just an OMG in general, but also like specifically as a collector OMG and as a Fierce. Just if you're not familiar with Fierce, really quick, they are a little bit taller than a regular OMG. They also have a little bit more articulation, so you can see that they're a little bit taller. A regular OMG does have the wrist, elbow, and shoulder articulation like these, but a regular OMG only has a click joint, which means they don't have an actual jointed knee. They just have a small amount of mobility. When you bend the knees, they kind of click into place. So see, like this is straight and this one's slightly clicked. These actually have real knee joints, so they are a little bit more posable, and they have a little bit of an ankle rotation, but for the most part it doesn't really stay when you rotate the ankles. Here, let me take off her shoe so you can kind of see it better. So it's like they attempted to give more articulation, but again, it doesn't really have that much extra movement, and it doesn't like really point or flex. It still stays in this healed position. So I like that they tried to give us extra articulation, but at the same time, if you're going to give us extra articulation, it would be nice if it actually articulated. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just trying to be honest. Again, I really do overall really love this doll, and I'm very excited that I have her. Again, this is another one I was not really expecting to have. It was kind of one of those things where I was kind of on the fence back and forth. And then just, you know, seeing her in person, I was like, it is time. So yeah, here she is. I am going to end it there, I think, before I just continue rambling on forever and ever. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all very, very soon. Bye.